So he asks, do you have any advice on how to go from a one-liner comedian to longer form bits while still keeping the quick, hard punches?
Yeah, right. Great question. So if you take a look at Brian Kiley is Conan O'Brien's head monologue writer.
Huh.
He is a mechanical, just like comedic mechanics, down to the T, right? He has found a way to sort of make the flow of the material sound like it's almost a complete story. So it rolls very nicely, even though they're individual jokes. Now, the key is I think you can take a story or concept. So I'll start like one and two liners sometimes, and then it'll evolve into a whole story about my relationships, my failed relationships, and then but within the story, all of the lines, every sentence gives you an opportunity for a joke, right? So, like when I first do a joke about meeting my wife for the first time, I do a quick joke about that. That could be done. But then, like if I say my wife, it was my wife's birthday the other day, and for her birthday, I got her a gift certificate for his and her massage. And she said, Jerry, this is a we gift, not a me gift. So I returned it and got her a gift certificate for dinner for one. And then, then I can just talk more about my wife. My wife and I, we've been married about 15 years. And all of this now, this theme is running along, and there could be individual jokes weaved together with tags, toppers, and act outs. And that's what makes it feel like it's now a story or a bit. You'll notice that most of the best comics, even sometimes the one and two liners, they'll get up there and they'll do an act out. And an act out just shows up as an organic piece of the joke. So we don't think about it as an act out. And they'll get into an act out. You watch them on a TV set, they'll get into that act out within the first 30 seconds. And that makes the audience feel like it's a whole story. So once they see that act out, once they imagine this in a scenario you just set up with the act out, you've got them compelled. They're seeing your sitcom that you're shooting and showing them right there in front of their face by acting it out, because they have that suspension of disbelief, sort of like we have in theater. We know the guy's not at a stream right now, but he's splashing his face with water that's not there, but we buy it because it's a play and we suspend our disbelief. Same thing happens in stand-up. When you do an act out, all of a sudden the audience is seeing the pictures that you're creating and they're in your story. So it could be one joke, but done with an act out, it just really helps that joke evolve into a bit.
Yes. Yeah. And that's great too, for people to understand. A lot of times these longer bits were actually smaller individual bits that evolved over time. And kind of you found themes to tie them, so they seem like it's one long story, but it was a bunch of individual jokes that just kind of organically formed into one story.
Yeah, man, and it's an application of the structure, right? So if you say, okay, you say the joke and you go, okay, well, if this is true, what else is true?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could tap, and so if this happened, what would that look like? There's the act out, right?
Yeah.
And so then you can say, what are the, who, what, where, why, when, and how? What's the contrasting perspective? What is that? Well, some people think this, I think this. And now you're evolving it even more. So you're just taking it and using your ideas and your techniques. Definitely the maxim of the 5 W's is one of your best assets. Who, what, where, why, when, and how. Who, what, who? Me? Who else is involved? Who else would this impact? Who would hate this? Who would really like this? Who would think this was stupid? That girl right there. Oh, that's stupid. She's, this. So then how would you respond if she insulted you or he insulted you? Now you have a benign retaliation possibility. So that who, what, where, why, when, out, and how can really take that story and evolve it.
If you're serious about becoming a comedian, join our Facebook group linked in the description below to start getting tips like these every single day, and watch this playlist of our top writing tips to improve your writing today.